Hello and welcome to the first Decision Intelligence Directors LinkedIn Live session. My name's Kate Tickner from Pyramid Analytics, and I've got the great pleasure to welcome Saikat of Digital Data Consultancy to me today. DDC, or Digital Data Consultancy's mission is to assist their clients to drive tangible business outcomes by optimizing the use of their enterprise data. And their services include consulting in data management, data analytics, and digital experience. Hello, Saikat, and welcome.
Hi, hello. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, no problem. We've got a short session today, so let's get straight on to our questions. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to set up your own business in data and analytics?
Yeah, sure. As in, yeah. So for every entrepreneur, there's somewhere it starts off with a bit of a fire in yourself to do something of your own. So in my early days, I always kind of dreamt about it, but I started my career as like most techies would, as a developer, and slowly grew onto building an expertise in data management. I worked with a number of large consulting companies, or global SI companies as they call it, and also worked with some product vendors in this data management domain. And during that journey, somewhere it kind of made somewhere it made sense for me to kind of move on to start something of my own.
Excellent. Okay. So tell us a little bit about the three things that you believed to be the most important when you were setting up your own business, and perhaps if they're the same today or different.
Um, so in my early days of starting to do this, I kind of had an understanding of the gap in the market. There's an opportunity out there for good consulting companies to work in this market, and there was always something that was brewing up in this field. And as the world moved into the digital space, you see those opportunities grow more and more. So that was the gap in the market. The second thing I kind of realized is if you bring in some accelerators and some niche frameworks which allow success to be achieved quite quickly, it made sense for a lot of customers to give you that work. And the third
Sure.
thing is to have the right resources. So teaming up with the right consultants who have the right frame of mind to do this well and actually build a name for themselves is something that we promote. So that's where we found those three things most important.
And give me some examples of the accelerators that you've seen working well in your clients and your experience.
So our frameworks on first of all, data governance tools, our frameworks on data quality management, data migration, data prep, all that has actually kind of leapt up to become very successful accelerators in a lot of these deliveries.
And do you specialize in any particular industry, or does your business tend to cover across all industries?
It does tend to cover most of the industries, because data is there for everybody. But
Cool.
we do specialize, and our successes would tell you that we do specialize more on the CPG and retail space more than
Okay.
probably the rest.
And do you see any trends in that space then in terms of where you're getting the most interest? Is it data governance, MDM? Is it analytics? What do you see as the things that perhaps are going down in terms of interest and the ones that are going up in relation to data, of course?
Yeah, so as digital data consultancy does specialize in data management and also data science, you can see that we are riding that wave of post lockdown digital transformation programs that are surging ahead. Even with the economy facing downturns, we still getting interest from a lot of organizations who want to go into this journey. and the interest is there, as in I would say, for the digital transformation to get that data right, make make consumer experience better, have that decision making power to take, with the analytics tools out there, and also bring in the new innovation layer in their data management spectrum, being data science or AI/ML, whatever you kind of phrase it as. We are seeing a lot of interest in that.
Okay. And I believe you've got around 30 years of experience in this space. But how did you make the leap from being a full-time employee to being self-employed? Because, I mean, I know that many would see that as a really big risk. So how did you make yourself feel good about that?
Yeah, so I think, as I mentioned before, is in my experience with the global SI companies, where I was bringing in the sales, as well as made responsible for the successful delivery of the projects, made me think, if I can do it for others, I can do it for myself. And that's where the epiphany was, as in, why don't I try that? And that age old bug which was there, about a dream of being having something of your own, is what takes you on.
But did you do it straight away? Did you literally just walk out of full-time work and then say, I'm starting today? Or did you do it in pieces?
So no, so most of the time you would want to bootstrap an engagement like this, to have more control, and as most startup consultants or gurus would advise you, that bootstrap it, so that you are not dependent on somebody else's investment and lose the control. I kind of managed to kind of, almost finance this journey of growth, and in this journey, I was joined by some very good people, and I'm very proud of them.
That's great. So you did initially did some contract work and then
Yeah.
took on employees, or did you take on employees, or did you work with an associate network of other self-employed people,
So
or both?
as in both. So
Hmm.
initially it was kind of me being doing the contracting, to bring in other contractors also into delivering these projects, and then slowly partnering with others also to deliver larger projects and programs, bringing in employees to kind of make sure that the knowledge that we build remains within the organization. So all that had worked in unison.
Okay. Also, I mean, you touched on knowledge there, and some of the skills and things. So, but what do you think is the unique value that the team at DDC brings to the market? How would you describe your differentiators?
I think the experience and the expertise that we bring in, real with a lot of honesty, brings the difference within DDC's delivery, compared to the others, and that's where I think we excel. We are quite upfront about our capabilities, and what we can do and what we cannot do. Often it might mean that we might upset somebody, but it's how it is, and we take pride in that.
Okay, so a value which, I mean, I've worked in other companies where one of the values was brutal honesty. So perhaps just making sure people are clear at the beginning and setting out the parameters for success, and also telling people when they're perhaps not making the best decisions.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Well, talking about decisions, as you know, you're signed up as a partner for Pyramids. We're in the decision intelligence space. How do you see that complementing what you already do?
Yeah, this so augmented analytics is something that we are very excited about. This is a surging field, as in gone the days of creating the raw layer, the business semantic layer, the visualization layer. This is a one-stop shop for everything. I think this is where the future of analytics is, and we are absolutely excited to partner with Pyramid. We have already got a team waiting on the sides. They are all certified now, wanting to do something good.
Yes, your team has been putting everyone to shame in terms of the speed of working through the certifications and coming back and making suggestions and commenting on, what more can they do. So we're really excited about working with them because they've been extremely dedicated. And of course, I think the feedbacks on the training, because it's all new from us this year, as you know, the certification, the training courses, the feedback's been very good for us to learn from as well. And I think I would invite you to comment in terms of not just the relationship with Pyramid, but how do you see the best partnerships working? What do you think are the important things?
Yeah, I think the best partnerships are these open relationships in which we know that we are capable of something, and we come to you with saying that, look, we have this to offer, and you complement it, and together there's a synergy which is built, and this open honest relationship of what you can bring to the table and what we can bring to the table, and together give a value to the customer is something that is what makes partnerships successful.
Fantastic. We have a little bit of time, Saikat, left, but I was wondering if you would mind, based on your experience, sharing perhaps an anecdote or a story or even some hints and tips from projects you've done in the data management space that you think people might either find amusing or helpful. Perhaps what was the most, even if there was one that was the most difficult, or the mistake that you made, because I think people often learn most from their mistakes, don't they, versus their successes. But what would you like to share?
Yeah, so often we land up in places where we kind of we in the initial days of contract negotiations, you kind of commit to something which is I would say which kind of shows up later on as a mistake. And there has been, the domain that we work on, data, brings its own surprises. So one of our customers who said that they knew exactly how good their data was
Okay.
commented that their data quality was extremely good because it all sits within SAP, and it works wonderfully well. All we are doing is just moving the data and shifting it to an MDM tool, and that's about it. Uh, 18 months down the line, we are still cleaning that data.
That's a classic. Definitely. Yeah. I think everyone has a huge confidence in the quality of their data, don't they? And then when they actually look at it and try to, particularly when they try to run analytics, of course they realise that it's not perhaps quite as good as they thought it was. So that's a good one. And I presume as well, you have to account for that, and with a healthy dose of skepticism, and perhaps also manage expectation around how costs might change if you've got to work
Absolutely.
for more days.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's something that we kind of always advise that, guys, let's see the what's in there on the very onset. Let's do some profiling activities, which sometimes the organizations don't see any value add of. But from managing budget perspective, managing resource times, even business critical resources being dragged onto a program like this is often a big challenge. And doing this work upfront, of the discovery upfront, is something that we are very keen on, as in even in some of our latest projects in the analytics space also. We have advised that, let's do profiling before you jump into the conclusion that your data is giving proper insights to what you want to decide on.
Mm.
Yeah, that has actually worked wonders for us, as in we always insist on discovery first.
That's a great idea. Thank you for that. So finally, then, a little bit about you. I mean, when you're not working, what do you like to do? What interests you?
um Probably two things, I would say. One is, with my current fitness, I hide somewhere in a cricket field on a weekend, try to struggle to score a few runs, and then live the rest of the day on beer.
That sounds like a great plan. Me, I'll just stick with the beer or the Pims, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. And other than that, as a hobby, I kind of have interest in art.
Okay.
And yeah, it's kind of
Doing the
some.
art yourself, and if so, what sort of art? Or is it
Uh,
collecting art?
Not really, as in collecting art. I wish I had that money. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of looking at at masterpieces and analyzing them and getting into the depths of it. I did dabble in my early days in a bit of art myself, but I've since then I probably lost the skill somewhere
Oh,
down
I
the
see.
data consulting line.
Okay. Well, looks like it's been a real pleasure talking to you today. I invite anyone that's got questions about your business or working with you to contact you directly or via Pyramid. And it's been a great pleasure. We look forward to many successful projects with you and the team in the future. Thank you.